this is today's just like weekly random thoughts that that I wasn't able to process them into tweets. Because I felt like if I have to use a Twitter thread to try and explain this, then it deserves a video. But if I have ideas that can be boiled down into a tweet, then it doesn't deserve its own video. I think honestly the only things that actually do deserve to have its own video is like reflections when you have with other people or just like the podcast in general. However, but as I mentioned, if the majority of things in the podcast can if someone on the YouTube video could make like a thread of what were the most important things, probably shouldn't have not been a podcast episode, should have been like a Twitter thread. And yeah, I do have some controversial ones here, and that's the good thing. We want conflict because then that means that we have different perspectives on this, so we can all learn from each other, and crush those beliefs that we still feel half attached to, that we're not 100% sure, because we all do have our beliefs. We all have those few beliefs that we are like ingrained in. Like we would put I am, like for example, here's one that me 100%. I am religious, and I will stand to that. And not no not amount, even if I'm wrong, maybe even if I'm wrong that there is a religion, I would still believe in that. But anyway, let's get into the thing. So I'm gonna save the first one to the last one. But here was just like a random thought. Um, so like you have this idea or you have this product or something else in general, and then for those who are also like having this problem of trying to make everyone like appreciate you, it's like I think the objective here is just trying to make people know you, not like you. I think that would definitely help you like release so much of like the stress that you have to constantly put on yourself. It's like, oh, what if people don't like me, or what if people don't appreciate me, or like especially when you're trying to get the word out of something that you have, it's like, oh, I got to make sure it's so perfect that everyone's like going to definitely accept me. It's like, yeah, like not everyone's going to accept you, and you damn know that. It's like people do want to help you to get better, but they just don't want you to be better than them. And it's the same thing with like being not necessarily being happy, but I would definitely say with being rich. It's like no one wants you to get rich but you. And then with like you being better is like people want you to get better. They just don't. It's just that the majority don't want you to be better than. Yeah, most people don't want you to be better than them, right? So in some way, it's like yes, like not everyone's going to like you, but they will damn know you. So it's like those people who have read my tweets, those people who have maybe liked this stuff. It's like okay, they appreciate it. But yes, I have received some of those hate comments. I'm like, oh crap, like it kind of hurt me a little bit, but I realized like, well, guess what? Now they know me, so they probably might like retweet it, or they'll just tell their friends like, well, look at this idiot. It's like, all right, well, fine. At least you guys know me, so that's good. And then maybe you guys can probably check my ebook, and then maybe publish it out in many other places, and then maybe the other projects where I just throw a bunch of Twitter threads on the information. It's like, go ahead, do it, be my guinea pig, to to promote my name. So like I don't care. Like plus the people who genuinely want to know you, or the people who genuinely care about you, they'll reach out. That's like and it's that's another reason why I think like you will attract what not you will attract what you deserve, but you will attract the ones who do want to be attracted. It's like you know networking and promotion at the same time. So win-win. Um, however, if your final objective is to just be known, okay, then you're wasting your time. But I think definitely just the mind trick is maybe define maybe like it's for you to be known, not liked. I think that would be my the overall topic. If I could boil that down. Anyway, next thing. So the next thing, what I would definitely say is, um, there are different ways to like create like this type of success that we all have. It's kind of like having knowledge on certain things, on different capitals. Like there's like wealth capital, then there is like social capital, and then there's emotional capital, and then there's like physical strength capital, and then there's like wisdom capital, or like all these things. Um, but and that's also sometimes I always tell myself is like you there is no one on this earth who cannot teach you anything. You're just like it's just that your ego says that the kid's useless, it's not going to teach me anything. No, actually, I'd rather throw stones at your ego. It's like people can teach you something, just not the capital that you're thinking that you want or you're thinking of. So just be careful of that. Anyone can teach you anything. You're just not willing. You're just not open enough, or you think that you're so good enough in there, and the reality is you're not. You're not. Even I'm not good at the things that. I'll be honest. Even I'm not that good at the things that I claim to be good at. So you do have to accept that. But what's it called? So there are different ways to like. What's the phrase? Skin the cat. I think, yeah, skin the cat for success. Like you could have like the Elon Musk version. Like, yes, product. Like, and maybe get a lot of promotion and like stuff like that. And then you can have like areas like Grant Cardone. It's like, finance, or not finance, real estate. And then you have other people with like, okay, we're selling products, or we're doing marketing, or we have this offer. Like, and then TKS is another way of generating success. Obviously in different domains, in different forms. But what I kind of have noticed in all of them is like, even down to people who are experts in their fields, like school, for example, like all of them, like they always do the basics. It's like the basics are kind of like the keys to everything. It's like let's give an example that everyone can understand. Math. Okay, math. You notice that your Calc BC or your multivariable calculus teacher, it's like he's doing all these weird ass jargon on the board. It's like, oh my god, what is he doing? It's like when he's doing that, he's just doing a bunch of basics. Like at least with Calc AB and Calc BC, it's like you got a lot of algebra there, especially with like derivatives, and then maybe with like some integrals and stuff. Like the hard part about calculus isn't the calculus itself; it's just the algebra. So it's like you will always do the basics. Again, an advanced person never doesn't do the basics. They are always going to have to do it. So I think that's like and I think that's also another reason why I kind of feel like not many people will take that advice, because like it feels so simple that it just feels so awkward that like in serious, that's it. It's kind of like the same thing with like with our everyday life in general. It's what are the basics in life? It's like, okay, know how to read, know how to write, maybe do some math. Your physical health, your mental health, your social health. And then, well, at least for a kid, that might be good enough. That's like the basic, make sure what's it called? Your good friends, your good fam. You're actually have mental health, so you can actually do things in life. And then your physical health, so like, you don't have those health problems down the road. And then, be able to at least read, write, and then maybe do some, basic arithmetic and algebra. That's for a kid. Like those are in somewhat the basics, but that's like your foundation. Like everything else from there, that's after you've built like the skills towards the foundation. Like you can't do anything else. Like, okay, you want to be the next nanotechnologist. Oh, right. Well, you can't read. Well, screw that, or what's it called? Or you're trying to be like, some like the next AI coder. I don't know what it's called, but yeah, don't know how to do math. Well, good luck with that, bro. What's it called? Oh, you have to cram for a test, but your mental health's down because like what's it called? I don't know, you didn't talk to friends or whatever, like stuff like that. Yeah, you're fucked. Doesn't matter. Oh, you didn't get enough sleep? Well, too bad. The person who got sleep and probably studied a quarter of your time, yeah, he's gonna destroy you on the exam. Doesn't matter. So yeah, events. I feel like that's the trend I've noticed. Events people always do the basics, and that's kind of the keys. So I feel like there is no magic formula and there is no framework in some way. Maybe at least for like, I feel like in business there's just like Pomodoro technique and all this bullshit. It's like it's just a way to make money. I don't know. I don't think it's like this like strong framework. Maybe there is, but I feel like 85%, 90% is probably just frameworks to make money off. Probably doesn't work. Plus, like Pomodoro technique, fucking overrated. It's fucking overrated. It's like it. If you can push through something that is very hard, but you see that finish line, it's like, why do you need Pomodoro technique? Just go for it. it's like if I did Pomodoro technique for like in the middle of a soccer game, it's like, oh, well, 20 minutes and then like, get up. I was like, no, you shut up. You finish that half. You finish that half, you finish the game. It ain't over till it's over. So anyway, number 4. I mean, I already said this earlier, but if you can't explain your idea with just one tweet, it's worth a video. And if you can simplify the idea you had in mind for a video into a tweet, doesn't deserve its video because it's already going to be universally be understood. Although here's the thing though, I will be honest though. I had a talk with the librarian and I was showing him one of my tweets. And what I thought was only, 2 or 3 outcomes, he gave me like 5 new ones. I was like, oh crap, like I have to consider these decisions, or I have to consider these ways of thinking because, I was only thinking it of 1 or 2 ways. But this guy was thinking like, 5, 6 different combinations I had never really thought about, or I didn't have the knowledge about it. So that's also another thing that definitely be careful is like, unless this tweet is like, like everyone can universally understand like, okay, this is what he meant, then it's probably worth its own video to actually explain what you really mean. So I think that's also another reason why, like, I also think that never take advice from someone never take advice from someone who is below the standard that you want to be when you're their age. So like, for example, like, let's say your parents, let's say the parents' annual income, for example, like at least for me, like with my parents, like, look, like, thank you, like, I'm grateful, or let me say in Spanish, like, agradecido, mamá, gracias por todos los todas las oportunidades que me hiciste. Estoy bien agradecido. That's Dad just basically said I'm grateful for everything that they gave me. However, like, there is some advice that I would never take from them because I do not want to be like I don't see myself in that position. I see myself higher than that. So I wouldn't take advice from them. Especially from someone who is lower than the standard I want. So, and the same thing with other things. It's like, like, let's say you're trying to reach one tweet per day. It's like, why don't you try 10? Like go big. And then you'll probably miss it, but hey, it's better than actually hitting it. So then you'll stop there. It's like, the guy who writes 2 times a week will only write 2 times a week. But if you shoot it like, okay, write 12 times a week, yeah, you definitely won't make 12, but you'll definitely make a lot more than 2. Give it a shot. Anyway, yeah, and number 5 was advanced people always do the basics, and those are some of the keys. But anyway, since I already said that, let's move on. Number 6 is you don't want to gain time. You want to kind of have a depth of time. So this is what actually happened for me. Is soccer season's over, rip. But I think I might have got like 12 or 15 hours of my life back per week. So like, I could spend those 12, 15 hours of time on like other stuff. And I actually posted a tweet that's like, if time was lower money right now, your attention is the debit card. And I'm using it right now. Like, I'm using it right now to record this. But I care about this. So like, my attention is going to this. My attention is fully focused on this. So what I would say is, like, when you have time, just like money, when you have time, invest it. But obviously you first need time, just like how you need money. You first need an income before you invest. Same thing with time. You need an income of time, or like you need more time, or you just need at least time in general. And I mean, there's 2 ways. It's like one, figure out what matters, so you can like and like empty your mental calendar and obviously your Google Calendar and such. And then like and then the 2 is like start gaining more information, because that's what buys you or saves you time, especially when those long decisions, when that happens. But yeah, like, and then once you gain that extra time, like, don't spend it. Just like with money, don't spend it. Try and invest it in as many things. Like, try and invest in yourself. Try and invest it in yeah, also with money, like, invest in yourself, invest in your business, or invested in in like things that will generate you back, like maybe even like 1.5, like maybe 1.5, 2 times, 3 times, or maybe even 1.11, but that's better than like, just keeping it at 1, or maybe even going below, especially if you spend it. Same thing with time. Is like, what are the things that are most important? Like even the basics, like invested in your mental health, invested in like self-improvement or stuff like that. Like invest the time in like building the things you want to do. Invest in the time with friends and family. Invested in uh like what? Physical training courses or like books, like those are the basics. Learn like read, write, math, physical health, mental health, friends, of social health, or yeah, I don't think that social health doesn't exist, but like, well, when I mean by social health, I just meant like social life, but same thing, same thing. But like those are the basics. It's like, if you were to invest that extra time or that time that you have in there, like, come on, that's going to give you a big, that's going to give you a big ass return, better than anything that you would have done. And yeah, that's that. So it's like, don't spend, don't spend. Your attention is a debit card. Don't spend it. Careful what you pay attention to, and make sure you invest in something that will initially, it will not give you a lot. Let it compound. Those things will definitely compound. Basics definitely compound because your pyramid gets bigger, so you can build like, I don't know, something bigger than the Burj Khalifa. Whereas if you just start spending stuff, it's like, you got this little baby pyramid that's like for like a 5-year-old. It's like, no, what are you gonna build with there? You're gonna build nothing. It's gonna look like a dog's chew toy. It's like, go big. Invest in the basics. Invest in the foundation. That's how you go from big, so you can like really explode. And then once you start going up, that's when you have to worry about the stuff of the stuff of people just knowing you, not liking you. You'll definitely have a conflict. So, but whatever. Yeah, that's that. And then the next thing is, I will be honest. And this is just like from reflecting with the extra time that I have, and like just noticing like, wow, like with the stuff that I just noticed with, because what's it called, an innovate guy from yesterday was like, how do you get like your homework done, and like this week's homework and next week's homework like done? Like, I'm serious. Like, I don't have any home right now. As of right now, I don't have any homework for next week. So he's like, how do you do it? And I'm like, and the reflection that I have here is like, it's not that I have something special. It's that I don't have something that you have. Like, for example, like I'm thinking of like social media. It's like, I asked him like how much time you're on social media. It's like, he gave me like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Like, the only social media I have is like Twitter and YouTube. At least I count YouTube as social media. So, but no Instagram, no Snapchat, no. I guess maybe WhatsApp counts. I don't know. But yeah, like no Snapchat, no Instagram, no TikTok. Like, no, I don't have that. So I like that. I like that. But those 2 hours I invest in getting the boring stuff done, which I know that you have to get done. Like no one likes doing the boring stuff, but it must be done. It must be done. So because of that lack of like of social media, it's like, yeah, I get stuff done. It's like, I'm not special. I'm not special at all. I just lack stuff that that what's called. I just like stuff that you have. Like, I just found it's kind of like figuring out what matters. And then once you figure out what matters, it's like the stuff you had, like, yeah, like the things I lack from a regular person, it goes more and more and more. But that's why we end up being that's not that that's why we end up being successful. It's just like, we're just better uses of our debit card of attention. So it's like, so that's that. It's like, but I don't know. It's like, this just feels like a reminder for myself. Just like, that's why that. And the same thing with, like, when you're playing soccer, it's like, the reason why some teams lose, even though they have the best players, is that the team that's winning lacks something that the other team doesn't. Is the other team has an off switch, while the team that's fired up doesn't have an off switch to turn that energy off. So they're gonna just destroy you. Especially like, look, because there was a study that's like they had 17 people. Imagine them making every shot while the other 17 people for an hour for 30 days. They practiced an hour shooting. At the end of the 30 days, they said, all right, shoot. They both made the same. One just thought of it, the other one actually had practice. It's like that's the thing, is like, if you already have that mentally game in, considering that, the team that's all fired up and maybe even has the physical skill that has no off switch, while the other team that, can get fired up but has an off switch, it's like the team without the off switch is going to just destroy you. So it's the same thing. It's like if you don't have it, like that's the sometimes, at least in the physical things like sports and whatever, it's like if you don't have an off switch, yeah, good luck trying to beat the dude. Might as well go make the cross or whatever. And then like also with some things, it's like, and then like I guess with school stuff, it's like, I mean, some people don't have an off switch, which it's kind of bad, but I guess that's it. But for some people, it's like, it's just like they lack resources, that not resources, that they just lack items that that you have. It's like, but because of the lack of that, it's like, well, what else am I gonna do? Not what else am I gonna do, but like those get shit done, and they still have the same resources as you. They just figured out what matters. But anyway, that's that, and I think this is the most important one. That's why I say this to the end, because most people have probably clicked off by now. So shame on you. And I mean, I don't know how valuable this is to you, but you're missing some. You missed the nuggets. I mean, it's your loss. But most of these things that I've said, they're not really that insightful. They're just reminders of something you haven't really evaluated or totally believed yet, or like not believed yet entirely, but just like evaluated. Some of the, like, I'll be honest, like as I mentioned in the beginning of the video, some of the things that I believe, though, I still need to evaluate them, either because I don't have enough information to do it, or just because, like, I'm just putting it back on the back burner. It's like right now, like one of my biggest desires right now is to just start reading more, even if it's online, like ebooks, even though I hate that. Like, look, I'd rather have the physical copy, but I'm not gonna let that consume me. If I have to do online reading it will be. But yeah, that's like, yeah, but it's like most of these things aren't like, like, oh wow, he just gave us a cure for cancer. It's like they're just reminders, either for me or just for you. You just haven't given the time to evaluate it yet. It's like, what's it called? It's like, I mean, this is definitely sensitive, but like just talking about like issues from like religions, like maybe religion cases, or just like what's been happening with there was this thing where happened at the border, and like I didn't have enough information to do that, so like I still had this belief, that I haven't really evaluated completely until someone gave me the information. I was like, oh god. But it's like, it's not the cure for cancer. They just reminded me, like, yo, you have this thought, might want to evaluate, like, and get your facts straight. And honestly, I feel like and that's the thing, though, is like I still wonder, like, what are the things that really, 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 they're not reminders, they're like true stuff. And most of the time, and I think like the only times like those things are actually important is when it's someone who is way ahead of you in the game. It's like, yeah, it's like basically like someone who tells you what's on the other side of the mountain and you haven't even started climbing the mountain yet. Like, I think that's like very important, because they know things that you don't. Like, as the librarian example is like, I only knew like 2 or 3 outcomes of how people can interpret. He gave me like 5 or 6 different ones. It's like, yeah, I didn't really climb that mountain yet. I didn't really like take a look at that. So like for me, that was insightful. But most of the times it's just a reminder of like stuff. So that's that. Okay, so that was the reflections, and now let's give you a bonus idea, because I'm telling you, most of you have clicked off by now. So thank you for the ones who keep going. But here's the idea that I have in mind. And I'm willing to give this one away. Maybe someone can build it with me later. But I was thinking that, if you were to just save 10 minutes of everyone's life, or like if you were to save 10 minutes of today, sorry, if you were to save 10 minutes of each person's life today, you'd be a billionaire. Think about it. Like, I'll be honest. At least in this Western world, we're programmed to be lazy. You're programmed, like, everything is supposed to be done immediately, instant gratification. Like, fuck. You know, it's like, but guess what? You can take advantage of that. Why? Because people are lazy. They're not gonna care, and they're probably kind of dumb. So, but what I was thinking was like maybe making an app that like when there's a situation in life like that could be said with a meme, like how there's like how you may have a friend that's like, oh, I got a meme for that, oh, there's a meme for that. It's like, well, imagine if it just came up automatically when you have that situation, or when like you try to explain something, but maybe a meme might do it way better than you do. I feel like that might save seconds or even minutes of people's time. Because I do feel like, because in some of the newsletters that I read, like Morning Brew and The Hustle and like MIT Downloads, like they're already using memes to explain some of the stuff. It's like, all right, so now all we need is an app that kind of projects it, especially when the time is needed, and then boom, it kind of makes life a little bit more funny, because it's like, oh yeah, the memes like makes it a little bit more funny. It's just like, noise, and then people laugh in some random room 3 days later. It's like, like who like like the appreciation, like the output of joy is, or just like the laughter, just like the relief of the I understand you, just from the meme that comes out from it, will save you so much time. Or at least for me, I think it saves so much time. This is just like hypothesis, but I could actually see that becoming definitely $1 million idea. $1 billion idea, maybe. Like it depends how much time we can save, but if it saved like what 10, maybe over 15 minutes, definitely that's $1 billion right there. Because I feel like there's an untouched opportunity in like memes. It's just like all it takes is just one person to really come up with the idea for the meme market, and then yeah, you're like the number one. It's like for me, it's like Alex Hormozy from Gym Lunch, like number one in this oversaturated business in memes. It's like you just need one idea. It's kind of like Wordle, online Scrabble, some way. Those memes, make an app of it, that can give you that feeling of, oh, like I want to use it sometime. You'll get the big dub in terms of money and stuff like that. But then again, I don't know who has the passion to do it, but maybe something I'll do as a side quest one day. But that's it. Anyways, that's the idea, and those were the reflections. And yeah, like I guess now after this, it's I got a bunch of reminders to tell you. I guess that will be the way I'll introduce my videos. I'll be like, my name's Carlos Joaquin, and I have a bunch of reminders to tell you. So I'll see you in the next one. See you for the next round of reminders.